Good evening from India. A heartfelt welcome to the 36th International Poetry Meet being hosted on the page. It means that we have completed 3 years of running the show, and kudos to everyone. Today, I have on the show Dr. Maria Miraglia from Italy, Anupam Kingar from Bahrain, Arsheen from Canada, Satbir Chadha from India, Juhi Gupte, and myself also from India. A lot of love from all of us. Let me begin by introducing our multi talented poets. Dr. Maria Miraglia is an Italian educationist, bilingual poet, translator, essayist, and ministerial lecturer for English language teachers. She has been long active member of Amnesty International and several other peace organizations and is the founder of World Foundation for Peace. Dr. Miraglia is the author of several anthologies and has translated contemporary poets from around the world. She is the literary director of the P. Neruda Association and a member of several international editorial boards. The poet has received national and international recognition and awards and was elected a member of the European Academy of Sciences and Arts of Salzburg. Her latest work, Ekinel Aria, I hope I have pronounced it correctly, is edited by CTL Livorno. So, welcome Maria on the show once again. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
I am very glad to you for this invite, which give each of us the chance to meet from different areas of the world, which I consider a great gift because I firmly believe that knowing means the breaking down of any kind of preconceptions and barriers. What you organize and anywhere we can have the chance to be together, we can understand that the world is just a little bolt in a great void. So we could put together and try to do our best for each other, for each of us, a human being in this wonderful world.
Thank you, Maria. Hoping to see you in India sometime. And moving on, let me now introduce Anupam. Anupam Ramesh Kingar is a versatile individual, excelling as a poet, writer, and director. Educated in New Delhi with a master's degree from Delhi University, she has received the Delhi Sahitya Academy Award. She founded Khwab Gaha, House of Dreams, WLL production house in Bahrain, producing successful plays, audio stories. She hosted live poetry sessions and notable poetry festivals in collaboration with the Indian Embassy. Welcome, Anupam.
Thank you very much, Neelam ji.
Our pleasure.
I'm proud and honored to be a part of this esteemed August.
Our pleasure too. So moving on, let me welcome Arsheen. Arsheen Kaur is a writer and poet based out of Toronto and Delhi. She works in the development communications field. She is a film studies and English literature graduate from Jamia Millia Islamia. Oh my God, we have so many people from Delhi. That's wonderful. Her poems and prose focuses on identity, memory, and feminism. Her work has been published in international literary journals such as the Bombay Review, The Wire, Cafe Dissensus, Live Wire, Hindustan Times, The Quint, The Aleppo Post, amongst others. So welcome, Arsheen.
Thank you, Neelam ma'am, and thank you everyone for just being part of this community. And I'm really grateful for this platform tonight that brings us all together from different parts of the world. And I'm looking forward to hearing such powerful work from all the poets here. Thank you.
Thank you, Arsheen. And let me now introduce you to the one and only Satbir Chadha. Satbir Chadha is the author of the highly acclaimed book, For God Loves Foolish People, for which she was awarded the Ruel International Prize. Her second novel is Betrayed, Tale of a Rogue Surgeon, which I've read, and which is a medical thriller. She has been published in over 20 national and international anthologies containing poetry and short stories. She has four solo collections to her credit: Breeze, Glass Doors, The Last Lamp, and the latest, I Want to Go to Haldwani and Other Poems, which was released on the page just a week ago. She was awarded the Litpreneur Award by Authors Press for her contribution to literature. She is also the founder of the Nissim International Prize for Literature, awarded every year to upcoming writers of English prose and poetry. Welcome, Satbir ji.
Okay, come.
Moving on, let me now introduce my friend Juhi. Juhi Gupte hails from Pune and loves to ink her thoughts in English, Hindi, and sometimes Marathi. She is constantly striving to work on lost forms of poesy to be brought to today's readers. Her poems are published and recognized in several international anthologies. So, welcome, Juhi.
Thank you. Okay. So, ma'am, can I take an opportunity? I mean, I don't need to do that, but again, a formality and for the better sake of people who are joining us new, I would like to introduce Neelam Saxena, our host, the convener, the curator of this page, and the reason why we all are here. So, the glue to bind us. Neelam Saxena Chandra, she has authored 74 books. She holds 3 records with the Limca Book of Records. She has received Sohanlal Dwivedi Puraskar by Maharashtra State Hindi Sahitya Academy, then Premchand Award by Ministry of Railways, Rabindranath Tagore International Poetry Award, Freedom Award by Radio City, and the list is long. Royal Lifetime Achievement Award, etc. She was also listed by Forbes as one among the 78 most popular authors in India in 2014, and the list is long. So, ma'am, thank you for joining us. I know how the schedule looks like. Thanks for joining us and curating this entire forum. Super happy to be with you.
Thank you, Juhi. You are really kind. So let us move on to round one. On the anguished pages of my diary, the poetry droplets fell as balm, gave my mind a new vivacity, and made my heart oh so calm. My heart, mind, and soul has a different kind of repose when I write poetry. What do these words mean to you, Maria? Can we listen to your first poem?
Yes. I read this poem of mine from Color Butterflies. The title of this poem is Words. Words, like butterflies, I see freely fly, proud of their thousand meanings, aware they seem to be of their might. I would grab them now, my thoughts, my intimate emotions, carefully to enclose in verses. But spiteful they escape, like air in the hand. Quickly they go, sent to our glasses. Patiently, I will wait for them. Maybe later tonight, they will no longer have the will from bloom to bloom go. In the silence of my room, the light on, open the window, I will invite them, and with a deep insight, slide a breath of inspiration, I'll pen some lines. It is in the deafening quiet of the late hours that usually they overlap, each of them aspiring to be protagonist. But turned off the light, the window closed. A few stay on the page encaged. The others are there outside, gleaming stardust, to fill the night air of secret messages of things unsaid.
That was wonderful, a very nice poem, and we could all relate to it. Thank you, Maria.
To you, to you.
So, moving on, I would like to render a few lines. What is it that the heart desires? What is it that scratches and pains? Is it the leaf of memory that falls over the foggy window pane? Mental health issues are something that need to be given a lot of importance, for unless the mind is full of zest and colors, one becomes dead. However, it is also an issue which is very less talked about. Do you wish to say something about it in the form of a poem, please, Anupam?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This comes from a space of how knowingly or unknowingly we sometimes as parents also push our children into this mirage of do it all, and that's what success is. So my poem is called Iron That Kerchief. Iron that kerchief, lady, iron that kerchief. Iron that kerchief, lady, iron that kerchief. St. Mary's voice boomeranged in my head. Iron that kerchief, lady, iron that kerchief. Sister Mary's voice boomeranged in my head. Years after school, long forgotten rules, but this one sprang, always with a clank. Iron that kerchief, lady. Sister Mary from the convent, where my sister and I went, she the rebel, me the docile, became just two kerchiefs in a pile. When Ma and Baba were busy doing things, going places, we were sent to the convent, routine settled, important replaces. We all did our own work at the dorm. We all did our own work at the dorm, basic, minimum support staff. That was the norm. With time, oh so gradually, we outgrew the school, we outgrew the college, then Ma Baba's house, as per their knowledge. New house, like a new dorm. Everything different, a new norm. Here too, I ironed the clothes. Fast, faster, faster, fastest, not proper, for they were many, and I but one. The clothes, the chores, the things to be done. My solace always iron the kerchiefs, and all would always be pleased with the ironed kerchiefs. Time has a way of passing by, fast when you're busy like a whirring, buzzing fly, and slow when the chores are no longer lingering, like a honeybee's continuous, mournful stinging. The clock continues its ticking, comfortably on that mantelpiece sitting. I go back to my iron board, now bereft of clothes. I go back to my iron board, now bereft of clothes, and almost like a therapy, iron those kerchiefs, lady, iron those kerchiefs, lady. I iron those kerchiefs all day. And whenever somebody comes to say, do something with your life, I wonder what I should do. Never done for myself, never thought of the I want to. So I go back to my iron board and re-iron all the clothes, for that is one familiar chore that is safe and success is sure. Iron those kerchiefs, lady, you better iron them well. For a lady's personality, the ironing of the kerchief will tell. Iron those kerchiefs, lady, just iron them well. Thank you very much.
Very nice and a very touching poem. Uh, really makes one,
Really extraordinary,
yeah.
wonderful, and really touched
Absolutely.
everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you for that poem.
Thank you very much.
It will be making us think for a long time.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
very much.
So thank you, Anupam. And moving forward, a few lines. Where do I have a home? In my parents' abode or in my husband's place? I left my home that I was born in, and in different meanings, home I interlace. A woman, having been born into one home, finds it difficult to embrace another house as her home. At times, she also leaves it to explore her own dreams, and it is then that she discovers new meanings of the word home. Let's hear a poem about it from Arsheen. Over to you, Arsheen.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Um, so, my poem is called About Home. I wrote it about 2 years back, and it's about the myriad meanings of home for a woman who's left her home, the physical home, to explore herself and her world. It talks about home as the earliest memory of her mother and of falling and rising and carrying it as a persona of time within herself. Um, about home, barefoot, walking from the room on the left of the corridor, blooming with photographs of olden days, into the porch, folding and unfolding, into the pastures of kind days and bare nights, just thinking about choices to brave the world. I murmur, I groan, I sigh, I voice. The home echoes me. It tiptoed into the smell of my body one night. I carry her wherever I go, unknowingly. How discolored doorknobs, overused and unrequited, carry memories of arrivals and departures when we left for jobs, for playgrounds, for dreams, and returned for birthdays, for hiatus, for more dreams. All the while, she grew inside of me, secretly breathing the golden light and tasting moonlight, reading bedtime stories of childhood and tales of growing older together, knowing the courage of a gentle storm and the thickness of endless rains. I forgot that I left my moods in the shape of her creases, the joy of a daughter, the angst of a minority, the valor of a lover. I return to her refuge where days and nights are oceans, when days and nights are wolves. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I
Another
loved
very touchy.
the last two lines. They were just like you hit the nail on the head. The last two lines were fabulous.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Beautiful travel. Okay, very nice indeed.
Thank you.
So, moving on, we often love to visit the holy cities for some peace and solace. Varanasi, the holy city in India, which everyone wishes to visit at least once. How does one discover peace here? Through the chants? Or is there something that's worrisome in the city buzzing with life? Let's hear from Satbir ji.
Thank you, Neelam. And that was a nice introduction to the poem, also. The poem is titled The Sky Over the Ganga. The Sky Over the Ganga. The sky over the Ganga at Varanasi fawns over the city its magical marvels. The chiaroscuro of midnight, settling and unsettling your mind. leaves you sleeping yet unslept. The sky at dawn is a speckled saffron, dotted with flocks of birds flying out for the day. It resembles, I swear, the sadhu's saffron stole printed with holy mantras. To the patient, pensive pilgrim, the sky is suddenly the color of the frothy, milky chai that he is craving already. To the sounds of cymbals and temple bells, it adorns itself in a redolent red. To the sounds of cymbals and temple bells, it adorns itself in a redolent red as the sun creeps up. As the sun creeps up, teasing, flirting, grudgingly, nudgingly, slowly up the sky. And what a sky! What a sky! A pious, holy blue now that the sun is up. Before noon, though, before noon, though, it is wrapped up in a grey shroud as the ghats spew the smoke of thousands of cremations. As many souls making their way to heaven, as many souls making their way to heaven on a flight from Kashi. Like Shiva donned the ashes, so man turns to ash. As Shiva donned the ashes, so man turns to ash before the ascent, before the ascent. In the city that is the launching pad, in the sitting that is the launching pad where death is promised nirvana on the banks of the Ganga. On the banks of the Ganga. The river has its own marvels. The river has its own marvels. It cleanses the sky with dewy breezes, making way for fragrant wisps of the evening aarti lamps, making way for the fragrant wisps of the evening aarti lamps and the musical chants. Varanasi, the city that is throbbing with life. Varanasi, the city that is throbbing with life and the business of death. And the business of death. Thank you.
Very profound poem. Very
Very
profound.
profound. That's the
Yeah.
word that comes to the
Love you
head.
for this.
Beautiful.
Salute you
Beautiful.
for this insight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So moving on, we have our friend Juhi Gupte here, beautiful friend Juhi, who you know is a very secretive person. She doesn't tell what poem she's going to render. So let's hear from her what her poem is all about and the poem too, which I'm sure must be very beautiful, just like her.
Thank you. Nothing as a secret. So Pune in India has taken a toll. There have been news about the traffic case, the famous one. So I thought I would read one of my poem on traffic. This is not written recently on the incident, but this is, coincidentally, I'm reading it today for all of you. So after the curve this forum has taken, I'm not sure if this will fall in place, but yes, I'll try. Coded in red, yellow, and green, mounted on a pillar so high, repainting the urban scene, directions, displays, and drivers. Gentle lights shimmered, enough to stop rushing the mob. Gentle lights shimmer enough to stop rushing mob, equating the chances for everyone to throw. Speed bumpers couldn't intervene. My mind was intravocal and dominant. crisscrossing the passers-by, yet my speech was silent. Red halted my wheels. The red halted the wheels afore the horizontal white bands, marking the dusty towny limits. Marking the dusty towny limits on those grey rough lanes. Swarm of naughty toddlers. Swarm of naughty toddlers, siren of alarming ambulance. Her hands wrapping his shoulders, spoilt lads galloping ignorance. Rhythm was audible. Rhythm was audible in that noise that you murmured for me. Leaning on your chest in poise, I once felt all serenity. Ochre. The yellow was gleaming, now at my side. Fingers turned the keys. Now the ignition was on, set to drag. Me, hooked in your memories. Pits, puddles, potholes, meters, motors, mirrors, litter, stones, some gravel. Trees were sided to quiver. Trees were sided to quiver, masks, scarves, and few helmets. Gazing the digital figures. Gazing the digital figures, hopes had reached before time. Hopes had reached before time at places they wanted in eager, somewhat startled and inept. Amongst the shade of self, I picked up the one inert that survived without you. Aims, last few lines. Aims, smiles, duties, worries, plans, prayers, promises, patience, chuckles, sorrows, regrets, and hurries, queued up as if a cadence. Swerve from the traffic, chasing now the green. I'm unsure. I have signed the covenant. I've signed the covenant, bridging the puff dies and the dreams. That's traffic.
Wonderful. That was a wonderful poem written on the chaos on the streets. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we move on to the round one, ka last poem, and I would like to invite Neelam Saxena herself. Uh, but before that, we all six ladies are from different places of the world, and we are here because uh, because we as women face a lot in life, and I would want Neelam ma'am to take one issue or one evil which is still existent in this 21st century, sadly. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, dear Juhi. So, I would like to render one of my poems which I had written in my college days long ago, more than 25 years ago. So, I won't tell about the poem. You'll understand it as it goes. The poem is titled The Death. With vivid dreams in my hazel eyes, married I was to a tall man with brown eyes. With vivid dreams in my hazel eyes, married I was to a tall man with brown eyes. Happiness made my lips blush pink as I hastily bid my dear ones goodbyes. As my henna covered feet stepped into my house new, I smiled unknowingly. I was in a world of fantasy. Little did I realize that things would change in a blink. Little did I comprehend. Short lived was my ecstasy. Dissatisfied by the dowry my parents had gifted, I soon became a target of curse and profanity. Dissatisfied by the dowry my parents had gifted, I soon became a target of curse and profanity. My in laws tortured and swore unabashedly. My husband submitted to their whims flagrantly. Forced to return back to my parents' house, I begged of them not to send me back. Forced to return back to my parents' house, I begged of them not to send me back. They pleaded of the ignominy society would force upon them. Tossed from place to place, I became an emotional wreck. Tossed from place to place, I became an emotional wreck. Their pride was hurt. They said they could take it no more. One fine day, on my body, kerosene they poured. A little matchstick rubbed against the striking surface, and then touched me, and my end it ensured. A little matchstick rubbed against the striking surface, and then touched me, and my end it ensured. So that was my poem. Thank you.
So relatable, Neelam ji. I've heard of so many
Despite
cases similar.
despite so
Amazing.
many cases, it never fails to shock. I mean, it
Yeah,
gives goosebumps, you know.
They are
I
poems.
did this 25 years ago, and the scene has not changed much in our
Nothing.
country. So I still keep writing about it so that maybe if it changes one person's perspective, it would be worth it.
That's what poets are supposed to do, right?
Yes, yes.
I think each poems need some time to be interiorized, and we could say a lot of things about each of them. Okay, each giving one's personal reading according to which chord of our hearts it plays. Okay, each is a contribution. Each is something which enrich a part of us. Absolutely true. Someone said that a poem is a short, is an entire book shortened in a few words. So we can grasp from a poem a lot of things. A lot of things.
Indeed. Indeed. So, friends, we come at the end of round one. We've had a lot of viewers commenting. We had Ritu Kamra Kumar, Pallavi Jain, Santosh Bakaji, who has continuously been with us, Devraj, and Rukhaya. And we had Anjali Srivastav ji, Seema Srivastav, and Nitya, Sudeshna, Anup Pandey, Nivedita, Mani Saxena. They've all been watching us, listening to us, and commenting. So we move on to round two. Thank you, dear poets, for your lovely poems in round one, which we are all enjoying and which are touching our hearts. At the beginning of round two, what I would like to inform you all is that our very own Satbirji is in love. Isn't it, Satbirji? Oh, come on, don't tell me that she can't be in love. She is. But she's in love with
I'm in love.
June.
I'm always in love.
And but right
Love
now
is
you are in love with June, the month
right.
of June, which has just
Right.
started.
Right.
Isn't it? So
It's
can
the
you tell us what excites you in June, Satbirji?
yes, June, June, June. Let's all celebrate June. So the title of the poem is Nothing Compares to You, because this was a prompt given in the TSL, and that's the title I continue to carry. Happy June, month of monsoon.
The audio.
You got muted. You got muted.
Satya ji, you've muted yourself.
Sorry, I put
Huh.
the page this side.
Yeah.
Happy June, month of monsoon. With you, with a spoof, goes the first half of the year. Distant showers send us the earthy petrichor. Hanging in the air is the promise of a shower. Month of June is students' joy for long vacations. Crates full of mangoes and juicy red melons. Grandparents rejoice, spruce up their old houses to welcome the chirpy grandchildren with their shrieks and noises. Snowbound peaks of Himalayas and Rockies beckon the adventurous mountaineer. Also, the treks to precariously high temples, convened in groups by devoted faithfuls, to bow in gratitude at the source of the rivers, to pray for abundance in the lands where they flow, reverence to the source of life on earth, aqua pure. I'll say this again. To bow in gratitude at the source of the rivers, to pray for abundance in the lands where they flow, reverence to the source of life on earth, aqua pure. Only wish they wouldn't litter the hills with their trash. Welcome June after the deadly heat waves of May. Welcome June after the deadly heat waves of May. Welcome June to the joy of happy holidays, of sloppy afternoons spent with piles of books. O month of June, nothing compares to you. O month of June, nothing compares to you. Thank you, friends.
Wonderful, wonderful. It had a wonderful imagery. And for me, it is special because it is my birthday month.
Yes. So, also, it's since childhood, it's always been the special month to be waited for. The biggest, the longest holidays were happening then. Now things are changing, holidays are changing, climate is changing, but June was always the most special month. And the
Absolutely.
mangoes, and the mangoes.
And the mangoes. The highlight of the June holidays, the mangoes.
Yeah, and the dadis and nannies and all the cousins. Well, anyway, it was a golden memories. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Start on with the next.
So, moving on, a few lines. If I had some bonus time every day, I'd rather write more and much more. I'd ink my pen every few hours and on my paper colors pour. A poet always wishes to sit and write. Poetry is his or her best companion. So, Juhi, what have you written of late?
Thank you so much. So, uh, I have come up with a transcreation of Hanuman Chalisa. I would read it in English. So, it's a transcreation, not a translation. So, just, just for the audiences, not to troll me. That's why. Okay. So, it goes as the title is kept as Sinduri Messenger. You are the one born of air, the unparalleled might. Pavan Sutnama Atulit Baldhama. You are epitome of wisdom and virtue, as deep as an ocean. Gyan Gun Sagar. You travel as if a baboon frolics everywhere. Kapis, Tihuloka Ujagar. Incomparable bravery, valor and galor. Mahabir Vikram Bajrangi. Can take shape of tiny grey cotton clocks or cause havoc with lightning strokes. Sukshma Roop Dhari Sihahi Dikava, Vikata Roop Dhari Lanka Jalav. In disguise, a mammoth, killing the airy demons inside. In disguise, a mammoth killing the airy demons inside. You have known the essence of the supreme Ram. Ram Rasayan Tumre Pasa. Only one who can sail across the uncharted seas. Jaldi langi gaye achraj nahi. Boisterous thunderbolts shiver the triad of worlds. Tino lok haakte kaape. Only you can overshadow the distant red sun. Sahasra yojan par bhanu leelyo tahi madur fal jano. You are golden, Sinduri, Afflegrant, Kanchan Barana Biraja Subesa, zealous messenger of Ram's word, Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. Last two lines. Hail, carrier of the element of life. Hanuman, you are the cloud.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've
Lovely
recited it
transliteration.
and given the meanings also, and so concisely.
Yes.
Very,
Yes.
very beautifully done.
And tomorrow is the day of the Hanuman Chalisa. I'll take a minute to tell you something interesting. My
Sure,
husband's
sure.
morning walk group across the house, in the park, they're a huge group of about 70, 80 people. So my husband takes a huge speaker and he puts on the Hanuman Chalisa, and everybody holds the book and they sing along. So
Wow,
that is
so
how
sweet.
the Tuesdays are celebrated here. And then there is, of course, a lot of prasad and laddus and all that. But Hanuman
Very
Chalisa is
sweet.
very special. Like my
It is.
husband is already preparing his speaker, testing it and all that to be ready at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's to be done in
Great.
early morning. Yeah.
Very good,
So
Juhi.
let's move ahead, keeping the time in view, and a few lines. When darkness haunts your soul, when you think you can dream no more, a sunrise is somewhere spreading cheer, and for you to enter, divinity opens its door. Let's hear Maria as she renders a poem titled Aliens. Over to you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, going to read Alliance, emptied of thoughts, joys and desire, the mind a tabula rasa, like a newborn baby, a soul just pushed on earth. Everything seems unknown. Men like aliens, come from who knows where. Only the sky and earth are familiar to me, and the birds singing, inviting me to a smile that even my lips fail to draw. Everywhere is din, the roar of the engines, the noise in the streets, words that I can't distinguish, faces I don't recognize. But what a strange sensation! I can read feelings as in an open book, and of a man hear the whispers of their souls, saddened but what I see, and also by what I hear, so harried people's art and corrupted their mind. I think I would wake up as from a nightmare, but my eyes are open and the sun shining up in the sky.
That's a very nice poem. That's a very nice poem. Loved it.
Okay.
Ended on a very optimistic note. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's the most wonderful part.
Thank you.
So, moving on, a few lines. I'm a woman. The way you perceive me, a reflection you shall see. If you love and admire me, I shall be a gentle breeze. If you downcast me, I shall rise like a phoenix. Let's hear a poem on women empowerment by Anupam. Over to you, Anupam.
Thank you so much, Neelamji. I tried to connect the two poems together. So this happens with a lot of us for years, settled in the house, which some called comfort, which some called a jail, a prison. And then suddenly everyone questions you, looks at you, and says, why don't you do something with your life? And you are left wondering what to do. Well, all you need is one hand to support you, which more often than not comes from your own children. So, this is a continuation of the story of the woman ironing her kerchiefs. And it is titled, I Worry. I worry, I fear, I hide, and I silence myself. I worry, I fear, I hide, I silence myself. I wonder, I wonder how these others do what they do without any fear. I worry. What do they see if not the scars? What do they see if not the scars? When they look into those mirrors of ours, I worry. How do they smile? How do they laugh? How do they decide with vision so clear? I worry. They say I can. They say I can. They say it's okay to smile. They say I can. They say it's okay to smile. They tell me to flutter my wings. They say it's okay to fly. And yet I worry. What if I fly and fail? What if I fly and fall? Like they always said I would? What if I say something silly or react like a log of wood? Oh, I worry. Then a hand came out somehow. Then a hand came out somehow and held my hand nice and tight. Then a hand came out somehow and held my hand nice and tight, said, you go and fly. Said, I am here to celebrate your flight. So just don't worry. Said, I am here to celebrate your flight. So just don't worry. So out in the open I went, at first scared, at first hesitant. And then I felt the breeze on me and I was alive. In that instant, I did not worry. It is so simple. It is easy indeed. It is so simple. It is easy indeed. Just find a friend and open your heart. A true friend is a treasure to cherish. Just talk to them. They know the art to remove all your worries. So live for you were sent to live. So live for you were sent to live. Love, but first of all, love yourself. Don't judge, but don't allow to judge. For that is the root cause of all the fear. And just smile. And just smile. Let's just enjoy the life of love in all our hearts. Let's celebrate that one friend that will be, is, and was. Let's celebrate this thing called life. Thank you.
So well said.
So
We have to
positive.
celebrate friendship, we have to celebrate life and move on.
And she says, don't judge and don't be judged.
So
Don't be judged. That's a bigger mantra.
Very nice messages.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So moving on, we have Arsheen, who's a wonderful poet from Canada and loves to write about social issues, as you must have all seen in the first round. What's the other issue that you would like to take up, Arsheen, in the form of a poem, please?
Um, so my second poem is called Wildflowers, and it comes from a place of a shattered heart. And so I wrote it for Palestinian children who are currently being, and for the last many decades, being killed, orphaned, and displaced by the Israeli occupation forces. And this poem talks about their loss, their innocence, and yearning to go back to their lives. And it's just a day before Eid. Uh, it's called Wildflowers. Yusuf, Yusuf, do you know barbers are here today? For us. Come, let's go. Bashir comes flying on Gul's jaded blue bicycle. The two boys ride through grainy lanes and temporary housing. Yusuf's shirt fluttering like a yellow bird, their eyes flitting with joy. Extraordinaire. What's so swanky about a haircut? Painfully ignorant if you don't know how they make little children orphan. Home after home, family name after family name, erased. The soldiers returned to their houses in cities blooming with international relations and families hailing war returned soldiers. The van with corpses passes by. I've lost count, rummaging through deaths as mere numbers on an official paper. Those mirror eyes have become numb, severed by the circle of loss. It doesn't stop. Loss seeps from one heart to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, making wildflowers wearing the color that comes at dusk. This Friday afternoon is different from many last Fridays, more fractured, more washed, more betrayed. There are two traveling barbers in the refugee camp to give children a haircut. Tomorrow is Eid. Bashir and Yusuf reach area 371D, the bombed ruins of a football stadium, where the barbers have set their stage. It's going to be a long day. There are over 200 young boys in the camp. More boys to come, all of them wearing faces of lost butterflies. In an hour comes their turn. Excited, they sit on the tall, three-legged wooden stool, the third leg limped, and the barber begins cutting their hair. Hair falling on the ground, muddy, partly cemented, as if grass growing in winters. Bashir and Yusuf look at each other. Their eyes look like windows. How gorgeous! There are no cameras to take a photograph today. There must be an election somewhere. There must be a rally somewhere. They return to their tents, their hair flying like rivers without borders. This is my Eidi, says Yusuf, looking at his hair in the mirror stained with dots of sand. I want a swing for Eidi, says Ahmed. I want to go home, says Noor. I want these planes to stop bombing, says Reem. I want to go back to school, says Khalid. I want some new clothes, says Murad. I want to go to see the sea, says Yara. Dreaming in circles under the misty green leaves, there's a brave, nostalgic swamp of festive mornings, still smelling of the remains of soaked chickpeas and the color of new kurtas. How does the breeze, know to handpick memories in a war? Thank you.
We are all without
Phenomenal.
words right now. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal.
Ma'am, so I'll take an
Amazing.
opportunity to. Yeah, it was amazing. Yes, yes. We take a pause here. Yes.
Yeah, can I request you to send us a transcript of this poem uh, and probably some details which we may not be knowing why this haircut happens and why this happens. I don't know. हो सके तो just like maybe I'll contact you. Okay. Thank you very much. Very, very profound and touching poem. Thank you.
You.
Friends, after this heart-wrenching one from Arsheen, we, we move on to Neelam ma'am and should like to talk about something about the crawling species, the insects, wherein, a few of us get scared, we feel disgust about them, and poets can come up with anything with somebody as prolific as Neelam ma'am. I would just request her to take the stage and read out the last poem for the day.
Thank you, Juhi. Actually, there is indeed a banyan tree just in front of my apartment, and I can see a lot of termites over it. So that was the source of inspiration of this poem titled Termites. Termites are chewing away the wood of the banyan tree standing tall right in front of my house. Aren't there termites everywhere, eroding the base on which one sits, chewing away a part of humanity, destroying the very word belief? Why wars? Why wars? Yesterday's friends turn into enemies. Is it only the bodies being destroyed or the human termites chewing away love and compassion in the name of boundaries of religion and race? Why rapes? Why rapes? Do women still remain properties that can be owned by those lowly men? Are the attires of women responsible? Or is the basic essence of fondness of mankind being destroyed by human termites? Why diseases like corona? Did it really happen naturally? Or was it because of destruction of ethics by the human termites? I had thought that the termites can be taken care of till I faced the issue of termite flies flying all over my bungalow on a dark, lonely night in thousands. Maybe human termites too have come out and are flying like flies in the dark, looking for the places they can prey upon. So, this was my poem titled Termites.
Very
Stir,
powerful image.
powerful and
Very true.
stirring
Thank
one,
you.
yes.
And very, very to the point. I mean, you raise pertinent questions which are true, and a lot more if written, a lot can be exposed. But of course, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, friends, for being a part of this 36th Poetry Meet. Thanks to our lovely viewers. It was a pleasure to hear the wonderful poems. My gratitude to the lovely viewers who were there with us in the session. So, goodbye till we meet again in
Yeah.
some meet.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
Thank
you.
very
you.
much.
It's been a lovely session. I met three new friends: Maria, Anupam, Arsheen, and God bless you all. Neelam, Juhi, bless you all. But I'm very happy to meet three new friends. So it'll be nice interacting and hearing your poetry and reading you. Thank you very much, Neelam, for putting us all together. God
My
Thank you.
bless you.
pleasure.
I
Thank you all once again. Thank you very much, Neelam ji.
thank you.
Bye
Nice,
bye.
nice moment to cherish. Okay.
I
To take in our hearts and to think of each of you as a close friend from now